Welcome into the Pride in Demorest, Georgia, where we have CCS women's soccer matchup between the visiting Belhaven and your Piedmont Lions. Welcome into the booth, everybody, here at the Walker Athletic Complex, the WAC in the Lions Den on the Demorest campus, Piedmont University. Eric Edmondson here with you alongside Grant Prather. On camera this afternoon is Ramsey Gaines for us. And Grant, this Lions team in a little bit of a lower state than usual. They're coming in without either one of their main goalkeepers healthy.
Yeah, and Madison Johnson, the freshman, having to step in. No Maggie Leger, no Haley Dornan, and no Emmy Drager as of right now. But Lions coming off of some fairly strong performances. The 9-0 loss versus WashU was not as bad as it looked on paper. They had a fairly solid offensive performance playing against the #1 team in the nation. I mean, that was really not a bad game. And in an important conference game like this against Belhaven, they're going to need to bring their best. This was a reschedule because of Hurricane Helene, so not exactly what you expected at 3 in the afternoon. So interesting time. We're going to have to see how that plays in as well. Absolutely.
Interesting time, but this squad's still ready to play. We mentioned there was an open schedule ahead of them, really. You get out of here, you get on fall break, you get rested, and hopefully you get healthy. You get a little bit more healthy than you are right now, which would be a world of improvement for this Lady Lions squad. Belhaven coming into the year, they're 2-1 in conference play, 7-3 overall. Lady Lions are 5-3-3 overall and 3-0 in conference play. And they've looked very strong in that, albeit facing some lower end of the competition of the conference in Huntington, Agnes Scott, and Wesley and Grant.
Yeah, and a lot of their big pieces have been playing very, very well as well. Also, I mean, obviously, Sierra Judson playing very well, but Paige Kaluba has had a very, very solid stretch of games. Jocelyn Massey has been playing a great job defensively and offensively. Just everyone is doing their part. They're going to need to win these tough games, which, like you said, all of these games have been fairly easy except for that WashU game. So Piedmont hasn't really had a lot of chances recently to get in those even games. We've seen the TFC game, we've seen the Brevard game, but this will be an interesting contest without Piedmont's goalie to see how they play against like moderately even competition.
Madison Johnson was tapped for the replacement of Maggie Leger last time we were here at the WAC, and frankly just didn't perform to what this team thinks she can do in net. Obviously, it's a tall task to do going up against such a tough opponent in WashU, but she was caught on her back foot a lot. She was caught on her heels, but now after a couple days of training intensely in the net, saying you're going to be the next one up, there's going to be, I would say, at least a little bit of expectation for the freshman coming into today. But she does have some help on the back foot. Casey White has returned to the team after a brief hiatus with nursing school going on with Casey, as well as playing with Piedmont softball. She stepped away from the soccer pitch, but now she's back. However, there is a little bit of rust element to that for Casey White. So she's on the team. She's on backup. She's ready to go if necessary, but this is going to be a big game for Maddie Johnson.
Definitely, as the carousel of goalies continues. Like you said, she was caught on her back foot, not only in her saves, but also just the expectation of the game. She was not ready to go in that game. So all things considered, she didn't play bad. WashU had some very solid shots, but like you said, getting practice, getting experience is going to help her in this one.
Absolutely, and we don't have the starting lineup for Belhaven, so we're going to have to call that one just as we see it. But we do have the starters for the Piedmont Lions. It'll be number 71, Madison Johnson. That's what she'll be wearing in the net today. Jocelyn Maceda is around the defense wearing number 7. Number 10, Addie Banks gets put into the starting lineup along with Savannah Jerome and Allison Wickowitz. Sophie Wells is going to be patrolling the midfield back to the defenses, as well as Caitlin Brown. Paige Kluba can play a little bit of everywhere, but we know she's very dangerous when she gets up there in that striker or attacker position. Same thing as Christina Sierra, who's coming off a goal last time in conference play. And Kylan Rothwell has been so strong in the defense. She'll continue that job down there and will step away for the national anthem. And welcome back, everybody. That final Lion in the starting lineup is Sierra Judson. Mentioned that fall break's coming up. A lot of these Lions, unfortunately, will not be able to travel home. We have a good bit of Lions from Florida. And if you're part of those families and you're watching us here this afternoon, we are sending our thoughts with you. Please be safe. Please follow whatever sort of instruction or directions being put in place so that you can maintain to stay safe. We're pulling for you up here. We know it's a dangerous time right down there in Central Florida.
Big time. I have a lot of family in Florida as well, so it's a dangerous thing. It's a part of nature, but just do whatever precautions, evacuations, preparations, snacks, whatever you need.
Absolutely. Starting lineup is being announced for the homestanding Lions. Grant, we mentioned they looked good last time out against Huntington. If not, maybe a little bit of slip-ups from time to time. They finished that game 3-1. Ultimately, the dagger being the Chloe Spradlin set piece from well outside. What are you expecting out of this team against a formidable conference opponent?
I'm expecting the defense to step up big time. We mentioned Kylan Rothwell, and one thing we've seen out of her recently is a lot of tremendous clears and stoppage to take pressure off of goalies, and Madison Johnson is going to need that pressure taken off of her today, so expect these back line Lions defenders to really play their hearts out today.
Christina Sierra just announced had the game-winning goal in that, well, rather assist with her sister Victoria Sierra. Great job to set that up in the box, and that's something that is really shown. They've been able to find the they've been able to find the passes to one another while they're in the box. We have seen the breakaways from time to time from Paige Kluba, but this team is at its best when they can find each other and make those fluid passes specifically between their attackers somewhere along the line. Sierra Judson's mixed up in there. Kluba's mixed up in there. There are very good attacking parts to this machine for the Lions, but something happens when they get in the midfield. It takes a little bit more aggression oomph to get to that attacking. It's not that much of a switch, Grant.
Right, and it really depends on the time of possession, because that's something the Lions have really excelled at. A reason why they didn't play as well as we thought versus WashU, at least on the offensive end, because WashU was in possession of the ball. So if their defense does well, gets clears, the offense will easily be able to translate it.
Completely agree. Both teams finishing their final huddle. As we get the final trumpet sounds to get ready for game time here at the WAC. Everybody's ready. Referees have gotten to their corners. Just waiting for the two squads of competitors to get set for this matchup. Glad you're with us this afternoon. Hope you stay with us all throughout the evening, as we're going to have action from all around the campus, from the Lions Den to the Cave up on the hill, where Piedmont women's volleyball looks to take on the Agnes Scott Scotties, I believe, in their third now matchup in conference play. Fourth matchup in conference play. They are 2-1 in that regard after being LaGrange in the third match of the tri-match last weekend, and they'll look to put away the Agnes Scott Scotties here this afternoon, but it's going to take a lot of effort. This is a scrappy team that they'll be dealing with Agnes Stott, and them themselves are a scrappy team. So make sure you're tuning in for that. We're almost ready for kickoff here at the WAC. Belhaven will get it first. Shadows creeping across the banks near the benches. Waiting the official, who is still talking with Belhaven. He now trots back onto the pitch, and we are ready to go at 2:59 p.m. And Belhaven will opt to pass it all the way back to the goalkeeper for them. That's Julianne Wilson. First throw-in of the day will go Belhaven's way. Sophie Wells as well as Banks on that ball. Christina Sierra tried to force it out, but it's going to be a throw-in for Piedmont. Up comes Caitlin Brown, it looks like. She'll find someone to throw in. Ups for Christina Sierra. This one headed high into the air. And you notice right away, Grant, Belhaven has a pretty clear advantage over the Lions in terms of height.
Yeah, definitely a tall roster, and that is big for plays like headers and plays where they're going to need to win those one-on-one battles.
Shot deep from the corner, and Maddie Johnson's first test, she aces as she wraps her arms around it. Now, pretty good kick to boot. So Johnson off to a good start to her day. She looks to continue it. Good job by Belhaven's defense to crowd off Paige Kluba, as that'll be a throw-in for them.
And we mentioned Johnson having practice. That is going to play a big part now that she's actually sort of adjusted to the pace of the game. You could say that'll definitely help her.
Absolutely. Brown gets that ball clear as quick as possible. Now Addie Banks takes it up the middle, finds Sierra Judson. Judson trying to pass in the midfield and get this fluid motion starting. We go deep to the corner now. Paige Kluba chasing that one down, and she tries to get a touch. She does get a touch. It is going to be a corner kick, and that's a big key to this success for the Piedmont Lions, is they have to win their corners. And Grant, they started off on a good way with their first attacking drive.
Yeah, like I said, as long as they have the ball on their side of the pitch, they're going to be the controllers of this game, and Kluba showing it right there.
Paige takes it here, delivers one low rising to the turf. She'll have another chance here, passes it in, and a good job by Wilson to come out of net and make the grab and the first save of her day.
Yeah, Kluba looking for, I think it was Wickowitz on that one, nearly had her, but Belhaven kind of lucked out on that possession.
Maceda gets it to Wells. Another one in the air. Brown loses track of that ball for a moment, and Belhaven, quite the savvy idea there to cause a throw-in. Maceda tries to clear. Now Caitlin Brown trying to get it to Wickowitz. Judson steps back towards the midfield, tries to take things into her own hands. Sophie Wells now trapped between a duo of attackers. She gets it out to Sierra Judson. Judson still searching for someone on the midfield, goes for a high cross. She tries to find Christina Sierra. Sierra's not home though, so but a defender is for Belhaven, and now Belhaven looks to stage an attack here. Maceda, though, strong as ever, gets it out to Sophie. Belhaven defense has done a good job of just setting the table for the offense thus far. A lot of deep balls have gotten to them. They've spat them right back out. Caitlin Brown deep in the corner, wrestling with it. It'll fall away and be a Belhaven ball. Maceda puts it out. Lions can't get a definitive clear. They just keep pushing it out little by little, but the pressure continues to mount here as it's going to be up to Rothwell to stop this one. Rothwell trips over Belhaven. That's going to be a foul in the box. No, goal kick, excuse me. Excellent stop by Rothwell. Saw the referee point to the box and a whistle. I wasn't certain what exactly that was. I couldn't see the official down the sideline, but a good job by Kylan to ease the pressure off of Johnson. And as we saw many a time last weekend, Rothwell is going to take this kick for the Lions. Judson trying to find Kluba. It's a foot race for this one. Paige Kluba up strong through the slide tackle. Paige deep in the corner, has to stop it. Put the brakes on this ball. Still trying to outwit a good class of defenders. Judson, good spin. Pushing her way into the box. Still contested. It'll slide out and be a corner kick for Piedmont's second of the day, Grant.
And again, just pushing the tempo right down. The same thing that Belhaven has been trying to do, but Piedmont able to get the two corners each time. Just Judson and Kluba being extremely aggressive, doing whatever they can to get those corners.
So it is going to be Kylan Rothwell instead coming all the way from the back to take this kick. Paige Kluba is going to move in towards the box. This is a little bit of risk here, because you take away one of your strongest defenders, but it shows what trust you have in Wells and Brown and Maceda. This one a good cross. This one just still in the box. Judson tries to get a foot on it, and in the goal! Lions score first. Paige Kluba stays hot.
I love the call to go to Kylan Rothwell out of that corner. You know she has a really strong leg and is able to get elevation on that and just create so many problems for that cluster of Belhaven defenders for Kluba to put it in the back of the net, Eric.
Absolutely, and as the Piedmont Lions sideline just displayed, a perfect strike by Paige.
And what a huge way to start this one, like we keep coming back to, without any true goalies, Madison Johnson having to come in, and having that cushion is so big for the Lions.
Wilson, huge boot trying to get it across midfield. She certainly does, but not to the control of her liking. This is going to be a throw-in, though, for Belhaven. Christina Sierra couldn't put a touch on that one. Brown forces it out once more. And quickly, Belhaven just shifting the momentum back into the side of their own. Rothwell. Handball on Belhaven. A long bomb. Sierra tried that one, almost got through the defense. Wickowitz watching that one fly past her. Sophie Wells able to put a knee on it. Sophie still battling for this ball. We know she's aggressive. Sierra kicks it out of that trio momentarily. Here's Addie Banks. Good call by Maceda to put a foot down in front of it. Maddie Johnson's going to watch it go past her, and it'll be a goal kick for the Lions.
Lions playing great midfield trap defense, getting those 2-on-1s and those advantages to try to take it away at midfield. That's going to be a key as we keep going, is how the Lions are able to get the ball out and transfer it to the offensive end.
Rothwell finds Kluba at midfield. Blazers trying to turn this one around. No foul call as we continue to play through. That one aimed towards the far side, down the right wing of it. Unfortunately, Lions couldn't find it. Now a deep ball goes into coverage, and Madison Johnson can't get it to it. Slides right under her hands. And the defense caught off guard by Belhaven, and they tie it up. It's quickly 1-1. We're not even 10 minutes into this one, Grant.
Yeah, I mean, it was expected that this would be some sort of an offensive game. I mean, I wouldn't expect 2 goals in the first 10 minutes like you said, but on that one, I mean, Johnson, again, she has a little bit of experience under her belt now, but not like those other goalies on Piedmont's roster who have had most of their lives to figure it out.
So, quick 1-1. Back at 0, it might as well be. Lions looking to shift it quite quickly here. Jerome. Page throws it in. Judson tries to find it but can't find it in time. It will result in a corner kick for the Lions, their 3rd of the day, scored on the last one. And man, if you can steal the momentum right back here, if not a goal, then some offensive pressure, Grant, you just keep the wheel spinning.
Yeah, you got to keep it piling on, because the more you do that, the more your offense gets in a rhythm. And like I said at the beginning of this broadcast, Piedmont thrives on time of possession. So if you're able to control that, you're able to control the game.
So Rothwell's back there once again in the corner. This one a little bit lower to the ground. That one's going to be guarded out by the Lions. I believe they thought that was going to result in a corner kick, but it's going to be a goal kick for Wilson. It was a good idea, But unfortunately for Piedmont, doesn't add up for them here.
Yeah, I think in those situations you have to play it aggressive. Like I said, this is a very offensive powered team, and you have to be able to use those weapons to your advantage, not so much sit back. You got to play conservative, but don't sit back too much.
That one put out by Kluba. It'd be a throw in for Belhaven. Wells in midfield. Looking for Sierra, but this one's going to go all the way back to Johnson and net. Scoops it up and looks where she wants to deposit this one. Kuba watches it out, and it'll be a throw in for her. She's going to pass it back. Kluba racing on it once again, like Banks on the touch. Back and forth does the possession go. Wilson now gets a chance. Shoots one right up the middle. Brown off the chest, header. Wickowitz. Brown once again finds herself with possession of the ball and shoots it right to a defender. It's intercepted. Belhaven looking to press. Johnson comes out of net, able to block it, and eventually makes the grab. That was a good test and a good litmus test for Belhaven here. They took a deep shot to see if Johnson was up to task, and while Johnson didn't make that first reception, she was able to block it. Now, I would say that Belhaven's going to try that deep ball once again, but the first test from outside the box, Johnson does fine.
Yeah, right. And Belhaven's, like you said, they're going to keep pushing that tempo and keep trying those deep shots. And you can tell anytime they get the ball in their possession, they immediately push the tempo.
They're using a lot of Julianne Wilson to their game. Passing back, nothing for her to reset the tempo for the squad. Lions have their first pair of substitutions ready to come in. This is a very substitute-heavy team. Coach McCormick likes to get a lot of his players through. Blazers blazing a path through. It's going to wind up as a corner for Belhaven. It was a good job to stop the pressure by Piedmont, but unfortunately it puts them in much more pressure here, and the one of the first hard tests for Johnson this afternoon, as it would be for any sturdy goalkeeper. Johnson leaps through the air, tries to punch it out. Ball still in the box, takes the shot, and is going to be put out by Piedmont. Exemplary job by the defense to clear that ball. Now Sierra puts it to Kluba as they try to transition. And it was a good job by Belhaven. That's Lexi Green to just go ahead and kick that one out and force a throw in. And we'll have a pause of play here as Brown and Wickowitz trot off. It'll be Peyton Gates along with, I believe that is Bierbauer. Not completely certain. We'll have that official substitution here momentarily. But Peyton Gates is in the game. Sierra. Ball getting juggled around midfield. Kluba trying to find Judson. Judson racing towards it, trying to keep it in, and she won't be able to. It'll be a throw in for Belhaven.
You can tell this game's turning into a battle of who's going to win the midfield, because they both have very, very quick transition games, and once you're able to push it towards your own end, they seem to dominate. Both squads do.
This one struck well, nearly all the way back to the box, and Belhaven presses the envelope. Got to be up to the Piedmont defense to get this one clear. Now they flood the zone. Belhaven turning a little bit of defense into offense. And try to deliver that one safely into the box for a good pass, but unfortunately for them, Piedmont's right in the way of it. Gates puts this one in the air. Banks collides. Kluba, high kick, tries to get out of that trio, but it is going to be kicked out. And now this one back. Rothwell able to get a touch on it. Piedmont still trying to sweep this one away. No foul called. Belhaven still pressing into territory. And finally, a definitive clear is going to be put out near the box for Piedmont.
Yeah, Belhaven, I mean, the recipe for them is clear, is push it as far as you can down the field every single time down. They've had a lot of big clears, even from midfield. They want to put it, give it some airtime.
It is Emma Bierbauer in for Caitlin Brown. Tough trap, and it's going to go the Lions' way. Sophie Wells draws a foul. So Rothwell sets up a big kick here. And it is a big kick. Travels all the way to the box. Wilson is going to be right there waiting for it, though. Foul's going to go against the Blazers here. Or, I'm sorry, against Piedmont for the Blazers. Kluba a little too aggressive on that one. But it was a good ball by Kylan Rothwell, if not just a little bit too heavy on the pedal.
Rothwell already early on being a big piece of Piedmont's defense and offense. I mean, she can do it at both ends with that big boot that she has.
Julianne Wilson. Waiting on the official here. There we go. Sierra tried to get a touch on that one. Now Sierra tumbles to the turf. Started grabbing at that left leg. As she's now down on the ground. And now training staff's going to come onto the pitch here. When Sierra was running, she started clutching at that left upper leg area. And she's still unable to lift herself off the turf. Here we go. And she's going to have to get helped off the pitch. Coming off under her own power. But still definitely hurt through it. This is the last thing that Piedmont needs right now, Grant.
Definitely. Look to be maybe a hamstring issue. She is taking longer than expected to walk on that left leg. It's probably not a calf thing. Like you said, she was grabbing that hamstring, so it could be a pulled hamstring, but I mean, like you said, good that she's off on her own power, slight limp, but Piedmont, I mean, they've already had to suffer through adversity and fight through adversity a lot this season, and McCormack has that depth. He's not afraid to use it.
Exactly correct. Sierra now is able to walk off completely of her own power, but there is a limp for certain. This Lions team that's faced adversity all season long in the injury department waits for good news on Christina Sierra. In her stead, Taylor Crawford comes in. Piedmont's going to get this ball. Gates. That one well too tall for Johnson to think about grabbing, but thankfully it's too tall even for the net. So Johnson gets another goal kick here. She'll deposit it over to Kylan. And both offenses here have kind of been stagnated by their own defense. The Lions defense has been very strong, allowing a lot of passing in the midfield. However, when it comes time to clear the ball, they've done that very, very well. Meanwhile, the Lions offense can't seem to get anything going other than maybe 1 or 2 penetrations through it, Grant.
Right. I mean, very bend, don't break-ish from the Lions. They're, like you said, allowing those passes, but their clears have still been solid besides that one goal that the Blazers were granted earlier.
All the way over. That'll be a goal kick once again. I believe, yeah, so that's going to be a substitution for Belhaven. Thought for a moment Sierra Judson was coming out, but Coach McCormick just wanted to have a talk with her. Just for a moment. Rothwell boosts this one nearly to midfield. It will cross midfield momentarily before being put right back by the Blazers. Sophie Wells. A duo of attackers on her, tries to find Judson. Ball still right around midfield. Good job by Banks to get a shin in front of that one and block it. Ball stumbled. Wells, good slide tackle, disrupts the momentum. And now Lions try to open up attacking opportunities. Julianne Wilson makes the grab just within the bounds of the Bucks. Good keeper play by the Blazers thus far.
Yeah, and I mean, Kluba, lucky that Wilson was able to avoid her, was not granted another foul.
Now, defense for Lions faltering on that quick transition, and they're having to put that one up on the hill. That'll turn into a corner kick for Belhaven. We've seen this scenario before, Grant, where the Lions, the transition by Belhaven's perhaps a little bit too quick for Piedmont, and they've had to resort to putting the ball out.
Yeah, I think you want to do that to stop the momentum because you want to make sure Madison Johnson is set and she knows what's going on. It's tough when you're inexperienced and you're coming off that back foot.
High kick, good kick. Johnson comes out of net, puts it out, and it will be a goal kick. Didn't see who got that touch on it, but evidently it was one of the Blazers.
And credit to Kylan Rothwell. Again, she's doing her job putting that out to force the corner. She's played a tremendous game so far.
We know how crucial a member of this defense Kylan Rothwell has proven to be this season. And she, once again, sets this one near midfield. A little bit too tough of a touch there for Belhaven as we get put back up towards midfield again. Kluba trying to find a through to find Judson. Booted well. Now deep into the corner. Johnson coming out of net here. Will be called off by her fellow teammates as that'll be a goal kick.
So 1-1, Madison Johnson hasn't had too many tests, just under 23 minutes, almost halfway done. I mean, I mentioned about 10 minutes ago this was going to be the battle of the midfield, and players like Sophie Wells, Kylan Rothwell have really been showing that for the Lions.
Yeah. Rothwell's been able to deposit it into the midfield, and Sophie Wells has been able to disrupt the midfield, as we just saw right there.
Exactly.
It'll be a throw-in for the Lions. And they just haven't really been able to get a lot of fluid passing game on their side. Their game relies a lot on the corner. And ever since that goal kick that they thought was going to be a corner kick, they haven't had a lot of offense at all or no offensive push. And a lot of that is because they struggle to get out of that midfield. And we haven't seen a lot of play on the near side of the pitch. A lot of it has been on the further side, where Paige Kluba is and where Sierra Judson's staying. Banks gets that one through, still wrestling for that one. Tough takedown, no call by the referee. Peyton Gates, another tough slip up. Now Bierbauer and Gates having to flip to this transition. And a good job to get that to Jocelyn Maceda. And that's an interesting no call from the referee we see there, Grant, because it sets a precedent for a little bit more of aggressive play.
And both squads have been playing like that. There's been a lot of the same going on between both squads in terms of physicality, but like those no calls this early in the game are questionable. You'd imagine that would be more justified near the end of the game.
Ball will be out. Admirable job by Sierra Judson to try to find Kluba, but it will be a throw-in for Belhaven.
And you mentioned how Piedmont's offense has kind of been stagnant recently. I keep coming back to Belhaven pushing the tempo and getting the ball as far to their side as they can. That could be not only to put pressure on Madison Johnson, but to get the Piedmont's offense out of their rhythm.
Good header by Gates. Same with Banks. Ball traveling towards the box. Maceda opts for a big clear. That will roll out and become a Piedmont ball. Piedmont throw-in. Another throw-in for Belhaven here. And now the Blazers pushing into the box once more. Madison Johnson lets it roll past her. Johnson and the Lions, they've kind of given a lot of opportunity for the Blazers, who have not shot well today. They have not shot well with their opportunities that the Lions have maybe intentionally or unintentionally given them, Grant.
Right, and I think a big emphasis that Coach McCormack's going to tell those girls at halftime is, hey, we got to hold on to the ball, because Bellingham has been pushing the tempo and just throwing the Lions completely out of their rhythm and just forcing them to play defensively.
Wells puts it all the way out, trying to take a page out of Belhaven's book. We've seen 5 shots by Belhaven, just the 1 shot by Piedmont. Kluba. Watch that one get back to the midfield. Now Lions midfield trying to feed the attackers. Crawford trying to go through coverage, will get put away. Banks. Now Wells. Johnson comes out of net to make the scoop. Kluba. Now Crawford. Crawford getting it to Page. Page getting to press her way up. This ball is going to ricochet and roll out. And it'll be a throw-in once again for Belhaven. Lions still an opportunity here on the opposite end of the pitch, but they got to find a way to steal this ball.
Yeah, Belhaven's defense has been doing a great job of putting the ball out as soon as the Lions take possession of it and just messing up any momentum the Lions can even try to form. Like you said, only 1 shot for the Lions so far.
Kluba tried to find Judson. Jerome. all the way to the far side. Now Belhaven retakes the tempo. Lions backfield trying to get set. Belhaven staging an attack to the right side. Towards the pole. Gates, good coverage, is going to force a goal kick. The Blazers' transition has been near flawless. Kylan and Rothwell waiting for everybody to get set. Finds Banks, tried to find Wells. That ball's going to roll out and be a throw-in for the Blazers. Stumble and a takeaway by Banks. No call by the referee. Belhaven has forced many throw-ins. A lot of balls have gone out on Piedmont's side. That is a huge reason why they can't get any momentum on the other side of the pitch. Here's another reason. Anytime they've tried the big through ball, the Blazers are easily able to find Wilson. And now here's another throw-in for the Lions now. Okay, so thought that was going to go Belhaven's way. Didn't see the final touch. So Lions with an opportunity. Got to capitalize on this. At least make some sort of pressure. And we're going to have another injury pause here. Can't exactly tell who that is. I believe that is Addie Banks. No, that's not Addie. That's Jocelyn Maceda. Didn't quite see what happened to Maceda. All the way in the backfield she is. Full attention was being put up towards the front, but Maceda sitting on the turf, getting talked to by the not only the training staff, but Coach McCormick. Christina Sierra just went down earlier in this game, hopefully with just some sort of hamstring cramp. But here you have one of Piedmont's top defenders down, Grant.
Yeah, like we said, again, adversity is going to hit you. It's going to hit you hard. And, I mean, the Lady Lions have had to figure out where they need to go next. And this defending piece in Maceda is huge for them. So you got to hope she's okay, if not at least out for this game. Hopefully out for less, because those big conference games are coming up.
Absolutely. She seems to be walking just fine. It could be a spell of dehydration. Again, just speculation on my part. But that could be happening. But at the moment, Maceda is going to come out of this game. And Chloe Spradlin is going to come out. Come off the bench here.
And that injury coming with just about 15 minutes left, 15-13 to be exact, still knotted up, and Lions have taken one shot in this game so far, Eric, and that shot resulted in their only goal, so they've been efficient when they've had the ball in their possession.
They have an 1,000 shooting percentage for the game, Grant.
It's efficient.
Yeah. It looks like Sophie Wells also out. Belhaven trying to quickly turn this back into their favor. Spradlin in the midfield feeds Paige Kluba. Here comes Wilson, who makes the diving grab. Gretchen Dodolph has come on in Maceda's stead. Throw in for Piedmont. Looks like Addie Banks is going to take it. Paige Kluba wrestling this ball near the line. It's going to be punched out by the Lions. Should be a throw in for Belhaven. Don't have the stat in front of me at the moment, but the amount of throw-ins in this game by Belhaven has to be staggering.
Definitely, and they've owned the sidelines today. They've really just been doing a good job of using those sidelines and using their putouts to stop offensive attacks for the Lions, and also using them to try to force the Lions to hit it into their leg and give them the ball.
Trying to find Crawford. Shove, not called by the official. Judson. Over to Peyton Gates. Gates, heavy near the sidelines, going to get a throw in Piedmont's favor. Peyton finds Page. And that's called. So a foul towards Piedmont. An official, questionable decision for that after what we saw just in front of the box, Grant.
Yeah, numerous no calls throughout the course of this one, and that one called on Kluba for seemingly harmless foul. I mean, it was a little shove off, but it wasn't anything of the magnitude of the extent of what we saw those other times. So that one, it's probably a head scratcher for a lot of people.
So Julianne Wilson back, setting up this free kick. Had it out, Belhaven ball. Kluba off the chest, trying to keep it in front of her. The Dolph able to clear that one past midfield. Kluba finding Judson. Judson trying to find Crawford with a deep ball, but Wilson once there again. Lions have substitutions waiting. Down the far side, the Dolph all over that. Punch down to the box. Gretchen Nadal still having to wrestle for this one. Will roll out, and it's going to be a goal kick. Substitutions coming in. Looks like Savannah Jerome coming out. Sydney Spitzer in the game.
One thing the Lions have done well in this contest is once the ball gets down near the box or in the box, they've been doing a great job of clustering up and getting the ball put out to just negate any opportunities the Blazers can make.
Spradlin a header. Good job by Peyton to stay on that one. Spitzer tries to find Peyton again. Peyton, tough turn up. Page trying to find a way through. Kluba taken down. No call once again by the referee. And that one's going to be out. And I don't want to sound like a homer, Grant, but you keep having these tough tackles happen. Eventually, you're going to have to blow the whistle.
No, and like you mentioned, we mentioned in the first couple minutes of this game where there was some no calls. We were wondering why they weren't called, and I mentioned that they should be called in the early game and not called in the late game. And I think due to that iffy officiating in the first couple minutes, that's dictated the way they have officiated these last couple of minutes, which has been also very iffy.
I'm fine with being aggressive, and I'm fine with letting them play. You just got to know time and the place.
To an extent, basically.
Yeah. Spradlin sets up here. We've seen her do something of this nature before. Boots this one far into the box. Header out by Belhaven. On that one was Macy Mathers. Lions trying to find rhythm and success. Peyton Gates on the throw-in. Goes the short way to Sydney Spitzer, keeping the ball in. Gates, now Crawford puts it in towards Kluba. Spitzer tries to wheel a shot in and is going to be caught by Wilson.
Moves it to 50% now for the Lions. This is only the second shot of this game with now under 10 minutes left, 9:30 just about. So, I mean, that's surprising.
The offense has been, stifled, to say the least, for Piedmont. Spitzer in the box. Good block. Spradlin right around midfield. Eyed that one down. Now the Blazers. Turning face. Still producing an attack. Driving deep into Piedmont territory. On the other end of that kick was Bierbauer, and Crawford trying to keep it in. However, it's going to roll out and be a throw-in once again for Belhaven. Johnson will opt to give it off to Kylan Rothwell again. Banks. And now Dodolph racing for this one, and we're going to have a foul called on Piedmont.
That one called correctly. It was a decent slide attempt by Banks, but I mean that one definitely more going for the legs than ball.
So now dangerous free kick here for Piedmont to contend with. Banks going to be the lone defender up at the top, it appears. Now Dodolph's going to come and join her. Most of the defense filling the box. Good cross. Ball still active. And a good catch and a good reception by Johnson. Saves it.
I'm surprised the Blazers didn't try to put that one straight in the back of the net and put the onus on Johnson, because that's something they've been trying to do, and that was an opportunity to do it there. But Johnson, a good job stepping up. Only one goal allowed so far.
Right across midfield. Rothwell. Banks tracking this one. Addie Banks in the box, able to get out of it. Now Dodolph. Judson trying to stand up strong. Lions have an opportunity. This ball racing out. They'll back pass to Julianne Wilson. Wilson immediately gets it all the way across the midfield line. Good high kick from Rothwell. Clears the ball. Crawford. Spitzer trying to win that header, but it's won by the Blazers. The Dolph plays it off the hip. Able to stand up strong through the foul. Now there will be a foul called. So we get a free kick here for the Lions. Have a pair of substitutions waiting to come in for Piedmont. Andy Wimmer appears to be one of the duo. Spradlin's going to set up this free kick. Spradlin, good boot. Trapped by Judson. He'll get put out. Be a throw in for Piedmont. Substitutions will come in here. Sidney Spitzer jogging off the turf, along with Taylor Crawford. So Andy Wimmer, as well as Tristan Hunt, come into the game. Out again, but this time Belhaven will get it. So just about 4 minutes or so left in this first half, Grant, and the offense just hasn't been able to put anything together.
Neither offense is really. Belhaven's been able to push the ball, but they haven't really been able to finish the job, I guess I could say. They get to the end of the pitch, and then the Lions immediately stop them. So flowers to the defense. They've been playing very well, but they just hasn't been able to translate well to the offensive end. Both goals were scored in those first 10 minutes. So for 30 minutes, we have seen no goals.
And not without opportunities for Belhaven. Lions trying to stage an attack here. Tristan Hunt trying to get it through. Good save by Wilson, able to get it off the tips of her finger. And a good job by Belhaven to clear it out of the box. Nearly was going to be a corner kick, but smartly Belhaven able to flip it out. The Dolph. Pushing for this one, trying to keep it in front of her. Wheels it around, puts it out to the right direction. It'll be a throw in for Belhaven, but in dangerous territory. That was a good move by Gretchen to not let it turn into a corner.
Again, these Lions defenders playing a stellar job, just doing whatever they can to take pressure off of not only their fellow defenders, but also Madison Johnson.
Absolutely. Piedmont beginning to win those one-on-ones. No call from the official. Ball in the air. Wimmer racing on it. Good tackle by Peyton Gates, able to keep the ball in front of her. Now turns it to Tristan Hunt. Hunt watched it get kicked out here. Jocelyn Lopez in the game. Lopez trying to keep it in front of her, finds Tristan Hunt. Tried to find Peyton Gates. Trying to get it to Tristan Hunt. Lions now having to scramble back to defense. Rothwell given enough time to charge up a kick and put it all the way across midfield. Keeping it in front of her. Now back passes. Judson. No call. Banks steals it away. Good change of momentum. The Lions needed that. Addie Banks. Duo defenders on her. No call from the referee as Banks tumbles to the turf. The Dolph. Now Lions have to quickly transition into defense. Spradlin able to get a touch on it. And that is going to conclude our first half. Grant, 2 goals in the first 10 minutes. You think you're settling in for an offensive showcase, and it turned into a defensive masterclass for both teams as they've been able to not only clear the ball when it matters, but also control it in the midfield. Specifically, the Lions defense has continued to hold up strong.
Exactly right, Eric. And Belhaven's defense hasn't really had a lot of chances to stop the Lions when they're in a controlled attack because their offense has held the ball for the majority of this game. So if the Lions are going to want to win this game, you're going to have to hold on to the ball, get some attacks together, and stop relying on your defense to keep you in this game because eventually that can't hold.
Absolutely correct. Lions looking to move to 4-0 in conference play. Belhaven looking to make it 3-1. We got a tie game here at the WAC. Make sure you stay with us. We'll be back after halftime with some stats and more. You're watching Piedmont Lions Women's Soccer on YouTube. Welcome back to the WAC, everybody. Eric Edmondson along with Grant Prather. On the camera this afternoon is Ramsey Gaines for us. And the Lions come into this half 1-1, Grant, but they're keeping pace with the Belhaven Blazers, who have had 7 shots on them.
Yeah, they're keeping up the pace in terms of goals, but, offensive possession, they're behind. Blazers have been doing a good job of putting the ball out towards their own end and putting the onus on the Lions' defense and forcing them to have to really just do their best and as best they can, which they have been doing their best. They've been doing a great job of stopping Belhaven's shot attempts and really not giving them any chances, but they have been allowing the ball to get past midfield a bit too much. So if they want to turn this momentum around, you're going to have to do it by getting the ball in your own possession.
Absolutely. Lions went from right to left last half. They'll be going from left to right in this one. You mentioned the midfield being a concern, Grant. They just can't get, it seems like they're stuck there. They can't find a way to blitz past. And I think a lot of that starts with maybe making a couple of those cohesive passes that we talked about in the pregame.
Yeah, the offensive attack has looked a little bit less fluid than we're used to seeing. It looks a little bit more out of sync, and you got to imagine at halftime that's where a lot of communication between players when they can actually figure it out instead of it being in a live game. So hopefully those adjustments will be able to translate into this second half. And, Lions, you've got to look to come out firing. You cannot let Belhaven play you the same way they played in the first half.
Your starters for the Lions in the second half: Gates, Spradlin, Banks, Jerome, Wells, Kluba, Johnson, Bierbauer, Dodolph, Rothwell, and Judson. So no Sierra and no Maceda. Waiting the whistle from the official. There it is, and we are underway. Kluba passes back to the backfield to Spradlin. Kluba. Back to Chloe. Chloe tries to find Page again here. Now Judson jumps into the fray. Lions have a trio of attackers pushing up. Judson trying to keep on pace. That ball is still in, trying to find another recipient on the end of that pass, but unfortunately not as put together. I believe that's Savannah Jerome. That three-pronged attack the Lions tried. It was Kluba, Jerome, and Judson.
And that's going to be the recipe for success this second half. Lions are going to have to really push the ball and let their attackers do what they are used to. They're so talented and they're able to put the ball in the back of the net. You just have to get on your own end and let them work.
Spradlin. Good takeaway by Dodolph. Gretchen tumbled to the turf. No call by the official. That was a very ugly slide tackle that the Blazers just got away with.
Yeah, we mentioned officiating in the first half wasn't at its best. We're hoping for a little bit of improvement second half. That definitely doesn't give you a good sign, though.
And that's not something where you're letting the ball play through. That's just a blatant miss.
Exactly.
Ball kicked up, and it'll land somewhere among the bleachers. Somewhere among the bleacher creatures. Page wrestling for this one. It'll roll out, and that will be... Gonna call it a goal kick or a foul? I believe it's gonna be just a goal kick. Wells. Right now, midfield able to do the runaround with that ball, trying to find Jerome deep into the corner. Savannah Jerome, cross, right into the hands of Wilson. Good job by Julianne Wilson to come out of net there and make that grab before the play developed any further.
But right away, Lions pushing the tempo, putting pressure on the Belhaven defense, flipping what we saw in the first half.
That's what you need to see. Now the Blazers flipping to the other side. Crossing the box. Lions still trying to clear it. Good job by Dodolph to clear it. And that'll be a foul that goes Piedmont's way.
Again, that was a very weak foul call. So, I mean, now the interesting calls are even in 1-1 from Blazers and the Lions, but that one's just a weird one.
It's just a call. It's just like, okay, yeah, but
I'll give it to you. Why not? You know,
why haven't we seen other calls?
Exactly. And I'm, like you said, you don't want to sound like a homer, but from a lot of people's perspectives, this is an interesting move by the officials.
Lions deep into the corner once again. Jerome not able to, I should say. Thought she was able to block it momentarily. Good job by Bierbauer. Just let that one roll out. Be a throw in for Gretchen Dodolph. Throw in finds Jerome. Now Dodolph pushing her way through. Wells able to stay on it. Back pass to Plage Kluba. Kluba looked for Gates on the other side. Be a throw in for the Blazers.
Starting to see those mini connections that the Lions are able to form off of short, quick passes, which is something they've excelled at this year, and they're looking for more of that.
Foul called against Piedmont.
That call was a good one, but it seemed to be late.
Again, yeah, it's just the calls that are seemingly right in the vicinity of the official. Yes, they're being called, but calls that are like maybe a little bit further out from him are just, they're not in his vision.
Right. Interesting, I guess, is the best word you can use for it in a sarcastic way.
Wilson boots this one nearly to the box. Lions defense looks to flush it. Gates near the line. Ball's still live. Rothwell will put it out and force a throw in. Blazers, ball in front, offside call.
Yeah, easy call for the Blazers there. That was Udo. She's been very aggressive. We haven't really mentioned much, but when she's been getting one-on-one opportunities against the Lions, she's been winning them. So maybe the Blazers will look for her more often to try to kind of catch the Lions off guard.
Rothwell, huge boot. Finds his way to the other side of midfield. Possession will flip once again to the Blazers.
A lot of back and forth. Now, I think the Blazers kind of adjusted to the Lions' speed of attack those first couple of minutes.
Both teams want to improve and not add another digit in the loss column. Obviously, Johnson unable to corral it on the first attempt, but able to get it on the second go-round.
Maybe a little bit of jitters from Johnson. That's, I think, the second or third time that's happened. I mean, there's a level of nervousness, but got to find a level of calm.
Johnson's done a good job filling into her position after that, initial first day of practice, right? Just one slipped by her. Good block by Rothwell. Now Johnson leaps in the air, makes the sturdy grab.
Held on to that one.
What a job by Rothwell to block that shot from well outside the box. That had some heat on it.
Again, just a huge piece of the Lions defense. A freshman, too, so bright future.
Foul against Belhaven. Spradlin setting this one up for midfield. Looking to launch this one all the way to the box. She's able to. Errant bounce, unable to find a head, and it'll be caught by Wilson. Bierbauer clears that ball. Sophie Wells in double coverage, triple coverage, gets her way through. And Sophie presses on, no call from the referee after Sophie hits the turf. Coach McCormack, hands in the air. Gates forces that one out. And again, we're just seeing so many calls just not go Piedmont's way and not be called at all. It's just time after time after time where it's quite blatant. The Blazers trying to put this one in the back. Johnson's going to watch it sail, though.
You got to wonder how those calls factor into the momentum of this game, how many extra chances the Lions could have had at this point with those no calls, and if the score would be any different.
And you got to wonder if it eventually will start crashing down, right? Because if you play like this, you continue to play like this, you can just continue to play aggressive, continue to play the same game plan, but you get to the 85th minute, and all of a sudden, every tackle is a foul. You can't afford to do that. And that's why officiating in soccer is just such, you have to set a precedent early, and this has been a weak officiating performance.
And what you can't do as a player is let that affect you. It's the coach's job to deal with the officiating. Players' job is to play their game with the coach backing them up.
Rothwell, a good clear. Sophie Wells. Rothwell lines up a kick. Bierbauer puts it up. Spradlin just trying to clear this ball are the Lions. Blazers still pushing. Madison Johnson's going to come out of net and handle this herself.
Lions still doing a good job of forming a strong wall that Belhaven just can't get past. They have very savvy defenders using them to their advantage, and Johnson's still playing a pretty clean game, all things considered.
Johnson, this one a laser onto the turf. Banks tracking this ball, able to get a touch on it, perhaps unintentionally, and gets it to Judson. Judson trying to get it clear. And that is going to bounce out and be a throw-in. Jerome trying to boot it out. It'll be a throw-in. Kluba. Punched out. Throw in for Piedmont. Dodolph trying to find Page. Put it out again, and that is going to be a throw-in for Belhaven. So throw-ins after throw-in after throw-in, at least in this sequence. Lions having to fall back very fast now. And a good job by Bierbauer to really make sure that there was going to be no way to get that ball, Grant. Really closed off that route.
Definitely. And the thing I've been noticing recently is what's dictated the pace of a lot of Belhaven's offensive attack is that battle near the box with Udo and Spradlin, using a lot of kind of almost, if you're a basketball fan, boxing out, try to get a head on the ball, get a foot on the ball to set up some opportunities. So that's a big battle, especially for Spradlin.
Spradlin, huge boot. Wells racing up. Giving the Lions a little bit of clearance here. Ball will be out and be a Belhaven throw-in. Excellent header by Spradlin. Shot from well outside by Jerome is going to find his way to the right side of the box. Savannah Jerome still chasing this down. Bierbauer. And again, if you're going to call that, that's fine. But you have to call the other stuff.
Yeah, it's just interesting inconsistency. Another adjective added to that mix. Inconsistency isn't an adjective. It's a noun. I should retake English.
Grammar with Grant. Lining up here is Lexi Green for Belhaven from well outside. Taking a deep shot here, Johnson. Good job to lay off of that one. It will just roll out and be a goal kick for Piedmont. That was a very good move from Madison. Made sure that ball was not only out of harm's way, but trusted her defense to not get over aggressive with the save.
Right. Like, trust is a great word because she's been able to this game. Rothwell, just everybody on the back end. Doesn't even matter if they're on the offensive end or the front end for the Lions. They've been playing great today, which is why it's still knotted up at 1-1.
Lions have another substitution. Molly Fitzpatrick's in. 4 goals to her name, along with Andy Wimmer. Remember, NCAA rules state that you can sub out just one time in the first half, but in the second half, push those chips in. And so Coach McCormick opting to keep his big guys up and rested to where he can have them towards the latter half of this game.
And Fitzpatrick and Wimmer, 2 great offensive weapons for McCormick to use.
So maybe
looking to push the envelope offensively.
Bierbauer. Wimmer and Fitzpatrick. Now on a breakaway, Andy Wimmer on the right side tries to find Fitzpatrick, but right in the way is Julianne Wilson.
That's one you kind of have to let go if you're Wimmer. Take your time, wait for the rest of the offense to catch up to you. She only had Fitzpatrick with her on the attack. I mean, it's good pressure, but it's not as organized as you'd want it to be in this close of a game.
Spradlin races for this ball. Able to get it clear. That'll roll all the way out and be a Blazer throw-in. Foul on Gates. Set up a free kick for Julianne Wilson. Gates gets a touch. Looks for clearance here. Judson tried to find it outside of Molly Fitzpatrick. Just couldn't do it, right in the way of a defensive lane. Andy Wimmer raced for that ball. Now it's put back all the way to the Lions defense. Johnson well out of net. Thankfully, will roll out. It looks like it's going to be a corner here, perhaps, for Belhaven. It will be. 26:40 left in this one. Belhaven sets up for a corner. Ball's still loose, looking for a clear. Dodolph goes off with it, takes a big block, and that one's going to find its way out. Knee by Addie Banks. Dodolph all over this one. Wheeled off. Here comes Madison Johnson out of net, and will take it for a goal kick. Slows the game down.
Again, tremendous defense by Dodolph. She's been doing it all year.
Kylan Rothwell. Once again. Lions with a little bit of clearance here. Molly Fitzpatrick kind of get on that ball, and Belhaven will be forced to flush it out and force a throw in. We saw a lot of this from Belhaven last half. Now we're seeing a little bit more from Piedmont, where the Blazers are forced to get that ball out. Chloe Spradlin's going to come out here. Sophie Wells is in the game. But Belhaven is forcibly shoving that ball out to stop the momentum, whereas that was kind of Belhaven's MO in the first half. Fitzpatrick crossing, trying to find Andy Wimmer. Excellent header by Belhaven, who will let this one roll out. Belhaven now beginning to slow the route. Jerome trying to stick with that ball as much as she can. Good out by Bierbauer. Deep in the corner. It's a good cross in the box. Johnson will catch a header there.
McCormack's defensive personnel is playing near flawless besides that one goal they gave up early on. Just a huge help, and I mean, helping them stick in this game, conference game, hard fought, just really, really well played soccer.
And against a tough opponent as well. Fitzpatrick, Judson, Sierra Judson. A little bit of lone up there. Has coverage on her. Will opt to Sophie Wells. Wells over to Judson. Judson trying to find Fitzpatrick. Ball's still a danger for Belhaven. And it will flip to their possession.
Yeah, Judson took her time a little bit too much on that one. I mean, obviously we know she has fancy footwork and can cut up some defenders, but kind of stood in her spot there and let the defense catch up.
So Lions have had good offensive pressure this half. Hasn't amounted to anything just yet. Throw in for Piedmont. Jocelyn Lopez comes in for Savannah Jerome. That one kept in by Peyton Gates. Still at midfield trying to find Annie Wimmer. They do. Right near the crest, Adolph flying in. Now Belhaven trying to flip the script here and push their way into Lion territory. Good block by Lopez for a little bit. Belhaven going to be awarded with a corner kick here, Grant, and another shot for Johnson, Tester Metal.
Yeah, these corners have been few and far between for the Blazers, but good job by Bierbauer to force that.
Blocked by Didolf, and a clear by Rothwell.
Corner defense has been flawless for the Lions. I mean, I keep coming back to just how good their defense has been playing, but they've just done such a good job of clearing those immediately.
Wimmer moving quickly, hands it off to Fitzpatrick. And the Lions will force a corner kick. We haven't seen one of these in a minute for Piedmont.
Wilson's had an easy road in goal, really. A lot of that is due to her offense playing very well and holding the ball in their possession. But, again, a good shot for the Lions with this corner kick to possibly put them up. I mean, not too much time left, all things considered, just under 20 minutes now, but this could be a huge turning point.
Isabella Caruso comes in for Didolf. Looks like Fitzpatrick's going to be the one to set this one up. Sophie Wells there in case they want to go short. And they do. Sophie cross. Tried to kind of ambush Belhaven, and a good job by Wilson to punch it out. It'll force another corner. And the Lions continuing to put pressure on this Belhaven defense that is well rested, as Lions could not muster a lot of offensive pressures in the first half. Fitzpatrick and Wells setting up for the short way again. Fitzpatrick going deep though. Lopez able to get a head on it. Ball still in danger for Belhaven. Be put out once more. Another corner for Piedmont. And this is very much a strength of this Piedmont roster. Unfortunately, they don't have their main kick taker in Paige Kluba, which here she comes now.
Very smart. Very, very smart. Third time's the charm on these corners. And like you said, Lions excel keeping the ball on their own end.
So you have Kluba in the corner. It's exactly what you want. Kluba, excellent cross. It's off a header. Lions still with an opportunity. Ball's on the ground. Lopez takes the shot. It's blocked by Wilson. Now it's up to the Belhaven defense to clear it, and they will. Addie Banks, good takeaway. Banks in the corner, goes for the big cross. Wilson trying to receive it. Ball still loose, and the Lions put one through. The tenacity of this group, and the Lions are up 2-1. Wilson cannot believe it.
Relentless. Every Lion just went straight to the ball on that one, and that pressure just became too much for Wilson. She had to come out of the goal way too many times, and one too many. Lions up 2-1.
Wilson might have shot herself in the foot as she came out and could not make that grab. And that costed her, as Fitzpatrick was given ample time to run in and get that high kick to roll it through. Fitzpatrick will be credited with the goal. Assist by Addie Banks. And Jocelyn Maceda, good to see her back out as she's entered the game. Mentioned Isabella Caruso also in. So now it's up to the Lions to not get too big too fast to make sure that they stay within themselves. Because remember, the first 2 goals in this game came within, 5 minutes, 3 minutes of each other? So we have to make sure, and the Lions have to make sure that they stay within their bounds as we have another Lion on the turf here. Can't see who that is exactly. I believe that's Peyton Gates. Gates taking her time to get up. Training staff's going to jog down to her. This is the 3rd time that the Lions have had to have a player visited by the training staff on the pitch today. We first had Christina Sierra go down with an apparent hamstring, or at least an upper leg injury. Then we had Jocelyn Maceda go down towards the end of the second half. Thankfully, or the first half, thankfully she's back in the game. And now it appears Peyton Gates maybe clutching somewhere towards that lower back.
Yeah, Gabby Lauder, athletic trainer, getting her money's worth. Injury bug has really hit the Lions hard this season and in these last few games. Leger went down. Gates goes down now. Thankfully, she's up on her own power. Maceda went out for the majority of that first half, so the Lions were without one of their star defenders. But, I mean, they've still been able to soldier through. They're still up in this game.
Absolutely. You're only as strong as your weakest link, and the Lions have proved that there is no link too weak right now.
Put that in a tongue twister book.
No kidding.
That was wild.
No link too weak right now. Yeah, that's definitely going in the vocal warm-ups. So Savannah Jerome comes in for Peyton Gates. So just a short rest for Savannah. And Sophie Wells came in for her just a couple minutes ago. Mentioned Maceda's in. She's in for, or I'm sorry, yes, Maceda is in for Jocelyn Lopez. Belhaven now beginning to inch their way down the pitch. In the box, Maceda settles under it, plays out the chest, able to get it out momentarily, and it will get cleared. Belhaven wasting no time on that throw-in, as maybe they wasted not enough time, as that one, not as well put together, will turn into a goal kick for the Lions.
Yeah, like you mentioned, not too well put together. Blazers' offense has looked a little bit out of sync since they came out of that second half break, and I don't know if that's due.
It will be a corner kick, excuse me. I didn't see where a Lion had made the last touch on the ball.
I didn't either. Interesting.
They'll go the short way. Lions flying on that one. An excellent job. Man, Kylan Rothwell is always where she needs to be. It's so impressive. And now the Lions trying to convert an opportunity here. It will be put away, though. Good job by Fitzpatrick to at least chase it as she's still in attack mode. Paige Kluba up there with her. Bierbauer winds up a kick, tried to put it towards the deep in the corner. Emma Bierbauer still right in the way of that ball. Caruso had her out. Throw in for Piedmont. Lions bench loud as ever. So is Coach McCormick being very vocal over there. Banks. I'll get put out again. Another throw in for Addie. Finds Kluba. Kluba. Another throw in for the Lions. So again, taking a page out of Belhaven's book. Belhaven doesn't want any momentum. That's what they don't want. And that's exactly what the Lions have right now. Kluba in the corner is going to force a corner. And now you have another setup. And a goal here goes a long way as we're into the 70 minutes now. Kluba winds up, fires the long dart. It'll be headed out. Page, right back to it. Now in one-on-one coverage. Be put out again and be a throw-in for Piedmont. 14:10 left. Molly Fitzpatrick is coming out, and Coach McCormack pressing a more defensive button and putting in Chloe Spradlin.
Spradlin can play defense, but also she's very good at clearing. That's one of her main strong suits, and it's huge to get the ball out of Belhaven's possession to prevent any opportunities with a little bit of time left. Smart call.
Ball is out. Flags raised. It'll be a goal kick. Not exactly a goal kick, though, although Julianne Wilson will be the kicker. You see Chloe Spradlin a little bit more further up than she's accustomed to. Now she pulls back. Paige Kluba, the lone attacker up front. Piedmont ball. Addie Banks with a throw-in. Uda for Belhaven. Trying to strike one deep. Madison Johnson lets it roll. Rothwell. Kluba. It'll be a throw-in. Deep into the corner. Spradlin wrestling for it. Runs over the pins. Ball still in action. Ball's out. And it's a corner, I believe, for Piedmont. No motion from the official. Perhaps at the very least, still waiting on official motion from the official. Okay, it is going to be a corner here.
The lucky break, I mean, that ball was hanging on the line for, it seemed like, minutes.
Now that'll turn into a throw-in. Lions would love one more to ice this one, as that'll go Piedmont's way once again. But here's the luxury you have with having the lead. You are able to put in such a game wrecker like Chloe Spradlin at the front to be that tank to roll through. And she trying to get through. It'll be now a corner for Piedmont, true corner. And you set up that connection once again with Paige Kluba. Perfect shot by Page, punched out by Wilson. Lions looking to continue the pressure. Put high in the air. Kluba. Trying to wheel off this. Spradlin, well up there, is going to deposit it right into Wilson's arms. So about 10 minutes left in this one. 10 minutes and about 20 seconds. Lions entering the home stretch, but now you got to play a little bit tougher on the defensive end. Well shot into the box. Tough shove against Rothwell. No call by the official. Spradlin, excellent clear, as that'll force Belhaven into a reset. Bierbauer. Substitution for both squads. Out comes Isabella Caruso. In comes Peyton Gates. So good to see Peyton again.
Definitely. Her and Maceda, thankfully both okay. Injury bug hasn't totally gotten to the Lions yet, clearly, with those two staying in.
Jerome. Lions just trying to burn some seconds here and just keep booming that ball away from the Blazers. This one deep into Lion territory. Excellent clear by Jocelyn Maceda as it'll land out. Banks trying to keep it in front of her. Unfortunately, Belhaven presses right through. Belhaven takes that shot. Excellent header by Kylan Rothwell.
She's been there the entire game, and a sigh of relief for the moment for the Lions.
Absolutely. Job's not finished as Belhaven has sights to even this one up. Corner is high and is a good header. It'll be put out again and be another corner kick. That'll go Piedmont's way.
Yeah, Belhaven grabbed Johnson by the jersey. Easy call. You saw them moving around. So at this stage in the game, if you're the Blazers, you cannot be having calls like that to mess up those chances.
Can't afford that one at all.
It's not good at all.
Wells, Judson.
Coming up late in the game, like we mentioned. I mean, 7 minutes left and you get a call like that. It's just not good for the momentum or the, not even, I wouldn't say integrity of the game, but it doesn't help.
Julianne Wilson looking to send this one deep. Lions filling up the box. Maddie Johnson will watch it sail.
Nearly a goalie goal. How wild would that have been to tie it up?
Whew. Header won by Judson. Now header won by Belhaven. This one into the corner. And the Blazers able to keep it in. Peyton Gates, though, right on the line, finding Kluba. I'll get put out. Belhaven gets the ball once more. Way over to the far side. Shadow is beginning to stretch across the pitch. Maceda taking it for herself. Tries to create a through ball to find Page. Belhaven towards the far side, deep in the corner. Once again, Savannah Jerome racing on this ball. It's still in. And that still didn't cross the line, as it's going to be a corner. No, throw in right there for the Blazers.
Lions got to stand strong. 4.5 minutes left to seal it.
Throw in again. Johnson able to catch it. A good save, good shot by Uda. But Johnson right there. Gates. Good clear by Belhaven. Wells deep into Lion territory. It'll be a throw in for Piedmont, as they look for another here to really put this game into the coffin.
That interaction with Wells was huge, saving so much time off the clock for the Lions.
Official coach talking with Coach McCormack. Throw in once more for the Lions. Another throw in for Piedmont as they continue to mount the pressure on the opposite end of the pitch.
And continue to tick the seconds down, just trying to play keep away.
Another one here. As Belhaven now is just shooting themselves in their own foot by just continuing to put the ball out again. Clock doesn't stop.
You have to try to bring it to the middle of the pitch and just try to form some sort of attack. I mean, running on 2 minutes left, you gotta play aggressive.
Spradlin doing an excellent job to keep it in front of her. Whistle again. And that one will roll Belhaven's way.
Belhaven with a shot here. 2:06 left, so they got to push the envelope.
Now will find its way into the trees. Now Lions get to play that game. Wells able to get it near the crest. Bierbauer Belhaven trying to find a way into the box. Wells able to wheel it out. 1:25 left. Wells, an excellent job to poke it through. And we'll have a stop here as there is a player on the turf for Belhaven. Can't quite spy the number just yet.
And that injury largely due to, again, I mean, I couldn't get a good angle on it, but possibly questionable officiating. I mean, that was a hard slide tackle by Wells, and for Oglethorpe, that is Jenny Satcher down, I believe.
Training staff out.
If anything, for the Blazers here, that gives you an opportunity to think how you're going to game plan these. I mean, final seconds, 75 of them left, 1:15 to be exact. You have to go all out here. There's nothing else you can do.
So Jenny Satcher is going to come off the field under her own power in the last minute of this conference matchup. Ball will be put all the way past midfield. Belhaven, sensing the desperation, continues to try everything they have in their bag of tricks. That's out. And now with just a minute, Grant, Lions look to take this final possession. Of course, anything's possible. This ball can be stolen away. But Kylan Rothwell hits a strong one past midfield, trying to take as many off the clock as you can. Now Sophie Wells puts it all the way back to Julianne Wilson. Wilson, deep. Belhaven trying to strike in the final seconds of this one. Andy Wimmer to midfield. Wimmer again off the chest, keeping it in front of her. Falls down to the turf. Lands on that knee awkwardly. Belhaven, left side of the box. The Lions will wheel it out, push it away. 10 seconds left. Chloe Spradlin is going to keep it away. That's going to be pushed out from her possession. 2-1. The Lions come away with a gritty conference victory over the Belhaven Blazers. Short-staffed, short-handed, and against all odds, they're 4-0.
Undefeated in conference play. What a huge momentum shift for the Lions in that second half. They came out that first really, really slow, and what a way to send it into their fall break. 8 days off into their full conference schedule.
This was a Lions team that came into today without a goalkeeper. They, of course, had someone pinned, but they did not have a goalkeeper on staff. Against all odds, they were able to escape just with the one goal against them. And they endured a couple of harsh injuries to some key players. But in the end, you come away with a victory because it's not an eye sport, it's a team sport.
Definitely, and everybody on the team did their job. I mean, if you're Coach McCormack and you give out a quote-unquote game ball, give it to Kylan Rothwell. She played such a good job backing up Madison Johnson, and Johnson ecstatic. I mean, one goal allowed as a sub, not on the schedule as a goalie, as she's jumping up and down all happy, but that just a huge confidence boost for her.
Absolutely fantastic win, and it definitely legitimizes you in the win column, facing off against tough opponents such as Belhaven is. Belhaven's only loss this year was Maryville coming into the contest. Now you can put Piedmont in that Arena as well. Lions next will play Asbury at Asbury, then Covenant at Covenant on the 17th and 19th of October. This last time we'll see them in a minute. And a rescheduled game comes up big for the Lions, even if it came at the worst time. You can see the visiting squad rolling into the WAC for the men's soccer matchup set to take place at 6 p.m. We'll go ahead and take a break, get ready for that one. But if you're just going to join us for women's soccer action this afternoon into the evening, we thank you very much for joining us, and for Danielle Percival, her entire communications crew, as well as Davis Barlow, Joseph Garwood, our cameraman this afternoon, Ramsey Gaines, Grant Prather, who's been on the mic with me. I'm Eric Evanson, saying hope you're staying safe, hope you're staying well, and as always, go Lions.